So our next conversation then is with Kennedy Odede. He is the founder of SHOFCO, Shining Hope for Communities. He'll tell us when he founded it and why. But we know that so far SHOFCO has done a lot in communities. It started in communities in Nairobi, but it has gone outside of the city. And he has received accolades from here to Timbuktu and beyond. You know, and you want to discuss some place that's far. It's Timbuktu. Yeah.
And
for
like,
the Kikuyu, a place that's far. Timbuktu. It just sounds like fun. Kennedy, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. And congratulations on your latest award. Wait, what was it?
It was the Mandela?
Yes.
Mandela Award.
The Mandela Award, yes. The UN Mandela, yeah. Yes.
You'll tell us about that.
Yes.
Yes.
So Jana is going to welcome you with the day's quote. And the drill is, she gives you a quote, some words that were said a long time ago, and then let's see whether they make any sense to you today.
Okay.
So today's quote is by somebody called Amilcar Cabral, who was an activist and revolutionary from Guinea-Bissau. And he once said, "Those who forget the past sell the future." Those who forget the past sell the future.
Wow.
How do you understand that?
Those forgot the past sell the future. Yes. I think for me, it also reflects that if you don't understand your history, your roots, you're already selling your future, right? As you can see what many people are going through with some of our leaders, right, who doesn't know where we came from. Yeah, you can see what's happening around. So I think it's a good way to remind ourselves of our roots. What is our core value? You know, what do we stand for? Yes, and he was a great man. I know of him. Yes, I admire him.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah.
If you forget our roots. What are your roots?
What are your roots?
My roots, yeah. So I'm from Kibera. I think that's really my roots. And what I love about it, I call it Kibera University, right? And it has helped me a lot to ground myself for where I came from, you know. And to be honest with you, I've seen in our country or across Africa where people who have been political or leadership position are trying to carry bags of money, having expensive watches or jackets or shoes, right? It's like they forgot where they came from. They think that's important. So Kibera for me, how people are able to live by less and have the value and trying to take care of your family just to make your day goes, right? And it has been powerful for me to remember. Every time I see it in New York, where I'm like, Kennedy, remember your roots. You can get lost, you can get carried away. Yeah.
So what made you found SHOFCO?
The struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really went through a lot in Kibra. I remember being on the street. That was something I was very, feeling hopelessness. And I also did many, many bad things. And I felt like I had no purpose in life. And when you have no purpose in life, you feel you can do anything. Right? You don't care. Yeah? Now I feel a little bit, I care so much. I have children.
You're accountable.
Right?
To a few people.
Yeah, before I'm like, kill me, you're gonna kill me. You're gonna go for a mission somewhere. We can be taken by politicians somewhere to do some weird things. You don't care because life is tough, right? Then later on in my life, I came with the idea after reading a lot of stories of Nelson Mandela. My man, I love really Marcus Garvey, people like Mother Teresa. And you are like, you know what? You can change your life. And what I realized is that I have to change my life first. You know, I have to, as Kennedy, I have to really work on myself before starting working my community. So I have to stop drugs. I have to have the hope and the feeling that I'm worth, right? Yeah.
Right.
And then SHOFCO with a soccer ball, with a football. I called the community together, youth, and they were really against me. Where is the donor, Kennedy? I'm like, what? Right? But I don't know, this is not an NGO, man. This is a movement. A movement is when you hit the wall. A movement is when you are not waiting for solution. You are the solution, right? And that's how SHOFCO started. Yeah.
Before you even go into how SHOFCO started and how that ball became what it is right now, speak to us about the psyche. You've given us an idea of that mentality that you had. And it's not your fault. Like you said, life was hard. But tell us about how growing up in Kibera made you feel like, you know what, I'll do whatever it is that is needed to survive. Or if the politician comes and needs my help for 50 bob, mini kosawa. How does it play into your sense of self-worth, your idea of yourself?
But good question, but let's go back again. If you think about that, the idea is that you are worthless. You are hopeless. So you're also being triggered. Young man, I see you. Don't forget, although I'm kind of hopeless, or those kind of people hopeless, but that idea
that someone sees you.
Thank you. Someone sees you, even to go do something bad. Is a feeling, right? You feel a little bit excited, although you are being used, right? So they also know how to manipulate the mind. You know, you're poor, you have no future. I'll call you, give you some few shillings. You go beat my opponent, or you go do something. So I think people take advantage of that. But the big issue is that sense of hopelessness. Because really, right now, you see people who have done well in my community. You can't call them to do anything bad. They're like, no. Right? So I think, so, and honestly, and that's why sometimes you can see there's no big changes in some communities, because it is good for some people. Because when you are empowered, you will be knowledgeable, and you will ask some tough questions.
You push back when the politician comes.
In fact, even as you're going to go into SHOFCO, you know, many people argue, and we probably know this as truth, that inequality is designed and it's maintained. So then how do we dismantle it?
Hey, man, it's a system. You got it? And it is really deep, right? And it's keep on willing, right? And but what makes me happy a little bit is the way things are going. You can't ignore it, man. You can't, right? It's gonna explode. It's a time bomb, right? And I think is people to be empowered. And I think, I don't know if we're able to wait to be empowered. I think we are already empowered. That's what I always believe. We just need to realize that. Realize you have it, and then make action. Otherwise, nothing will change, right? So inequality that we see exists because a class of people are benefiting. Until that class of people will feel the heat, that's when we can see change of policy happening. But when it's working for them, I think a week ago I was in South Africa. Oh my God, everybody, bulletproof car, right? Yes.
Oh, kawaida.
Bulletproof car.
You're not a politician.
Yes.
You're not
a politician, but you have to be in a bulletproof car. Anything can happen.
Wow.
You say, why? And now they're having tough discussion going on now, right? You have your money, you can't enjoy it anymore, right? Because of inequality that have been there. And it's, so, and I feel everyone talk about it. I mean, people made it like, oh man, we have to do something in this country. So it has reached there. I don't think Kenya is there yet, but we are heading there.
It's a matter of time before countries get there. But like I said, I think I mentioned it yesterday, it's in so many parts of the world. I think there's been unrest in parts of Indonesia, parts of Europe. There's this global awakening that inequality cannot persist. And then now you have everyone talking to each other across borders. They're like, oh, it's happening to you too. Oh, it's happening here as well. And yet,
thank God for TikTok.
And yet people are saying, we'll use the same measures we used in the 90s. It will work. I'm like, where do you live? So it's not clicked. So you're right, the wheels are turning.
And there's some good news still. I still believe in hope. You know? I think this Gen Z, the youth of Africa, man, no joke. They're teaching us a lesson, right? So I think with that, and I was growing up in Kibera as a kid or as a young person, there was no social media. So I couldn't see how much you were spending my money because I don't know, right? I don't know where you live, the car you're driving, right?
I can only imagine.
I can only imagine, right?
You live in a mansion.
Now, and we could connect. And you don't have to go to school to be knowledgeable. So technology makes everything. Everybody's educated. Even in Kibera, see kids, they know a lot. I'm like, what? Where do you go to school? Right? So I think this is going to shift. Something going to shift with this generation. I mean, that's our hope.
I wonder though, Kennedy, because we talk about inequality. Do you have a universal definition of inequality among us? You know, there's of course the textbook definition of inequality, but we all see inequality in the same way. Do you think the communities that we talk about, the people that you've interacted with, their definition of inequality cuts across and it's the same?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
Very good question,
But let me make it very simple. What is inequality? So, you know, if I go to my community, they don't want much, believe me. But they're saying things are not good. They don't mind people being rich. no problem. But they want to have basic needs. You want to go to a hospital, you want to go to a clinic, you want to pay SHA, but you want to make sure that SHA is working.
Right.
You want to go to a school that is working.
Yep.
So they are asking for, make it basic needs. So we are lacking basics need. And that's why we call ourselves, the inequality gap is becoming bigger. So let's give you an example. If we have those people with a lot of money, whatever, but Kibera is not there, you can get a job, you don't have much. And I think I use America as a good example. The America of the 1980s, and whereby you call something called middle class. Every person campaign was focusing on middle class. So that's the balance, right? But you come to now America, where we are now, and America also is a mess up. Let's not use them anymore. Okay, no, let's go to Kenya. Man, the gap is so huge. I sit down and I get really confused. We're in Nairobi now. Do you know almost 70% of Nairobi live in informal settlement?
Yep.
Man, can you believe that? So these people are the one kind of the engine of the city. So what will happen if they say enough is enough?
Yeah.
Wow.
So here's the thing. The reason I'm asking that question is, like you say, the people in Kibera, those in the informal settlements, they are looking for the basic services.
Yes.
And the definition of the basic is, I want a school that I don't have to pay.
Yes.
Okay? I want to, because the government and the taxes are basically working.
Yes.
I'm contributing to the tax kitty in whatever way I am able to, but then I'm able to get some of these services. That's the definition. I'm telling you, if you go to beyond that, in the so-called fictitious middle class, somebody who has a job and they have some sort of an income, and all that income maybe 30,000 and above, and their equality is when they have money so that they can afford these things, not public anymore. So when people are able to get fees to take their children to school, and more and more people now are able, look around and people have money that they can pay to take their children to school, they consider that it's a rise in fortunes, and therefore we are equalizing ourselves. But we forget the fact that it's the private sector that's developing. Public sector is crumbling. Private sector developing in health, public sector crumbling. When you're able to pay for yourself some insurance, you're like, I have insurance, I can afford insurance. Why are you forcing me to pay for this other social insurance thing? So inequality is not the same. We don't see it the same way. And that's where we have all these clashes.
Do you think that that's what the middle class think of inequality as? I think
so.
There's something about middle class, especially the Kenyan middle class, okay? That we have to be honest about. When things are working for them, they don't care. They don't want to go vote. With our friends, we know them, Right now, they're feeling the heat. Right now, they're feeling the heat. Why? We're talking about they'll be okay, things are okay, they can have the insurance, but now what they're feeling, like there are a lot of taxes. They don't feel benefiting also from the system. So right now, everyone is crying, from those in the lower, middle,
and upper.
And upper too.
I agree. Here's what I'm posing here. That the pain that some are experiencing is because you're coming to take more from my pocket.
You got it.
And so I'm not able to afford the things that I wanted to afford. I'm not able to take my child to this private school that I thought was, good cost private school or high cost private school, and so on and so forth. Not seeing that if I went and elected a good leader, I do not have to take my child to that middle cost, high cost private school. That the nearest public school should be working for me. I don't think
it's clicking.
It's clicking.
Before we even get more about how Kennedy decided to turn that pain into power, so now I want to come back and ask you again. So how would you define inequality? Is it the same definition or
across the board?
Across the board. How would you define inequality?
I think for me, it's that. It's the way they draw those things of a tall person, a middle-height person, and a short person, and making sure that all of you can see, right? All of you can see. Not the fact that, because I was I'm a medium-height person, and this tall guy has lifted me, and I can see. I can be describing to the short guy what's happening there, that now we are equal.
Yeah.
So my equality for me is, are we all able to get, and for me the standardization is basic services should be public.
Yes.
Basic, I should be able to go to a public health facility and get service.
Yep.
I should be able to go to a public school and get service. I should be able to get out of my home, get to a road, and it's clean, it's well lit. I don't have to think about security and paying extra for security, paying extra for garbage. That is equality. If all of us are doing those basics the same way, for me that's equality. Not the ones of Ati now, you know, in my area, in my estate, there's Lami, but there's no lighting.
I get that.
That's good.
No, it's a very good definition. To me, it speaks to Nordic countries because they don't have big inequality gaps, mostly because, again, everything is standard. Education, healthcare, free, fine. Transport, fairly affordable, clean, efficient, timely. So do I need a car? No. Could I afford one? Yes. Those are the kinds of problems.
And something they don't care about taxes. Have you seen that? I made them, they're like,
because the tax is
working, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's
so it's
also
like
good.
you take 50% of 40%, 50% of my salary. Okay. Because the only thing I have to pay is my rent and my enjoyment monies and save and invest, right?
Wow.
If I'm not paying for food, I mean, not for food, for transport, for education,
You know, the more you talk, the more I'm like, Akiwoi, when?
Dreaming.
Because
Dreaming.
even when you think of things like maternity and paternity leave,
Yes.
I think they put their people first.
They do.
And if you put your people first, it's people-centered, things will move. So coming back to you, Kennedy, you said you grew up and you saw all of these things happening. When you began to look at advocacy and uplifting and implementation, what was the one gap that you saw? Hey, this one I need to address.
Right.
Whether it was education, whether it was gender-based violence, what was the first issue that you saw as the biggest one? And then how did you make that sort of like the vehicle, which is SHOFCO today?
Yeah, thank you. What I saw in the community was that there was no cohesion. There's the organizing part. For me, that was the solution. People have lost hope. People don't trust each other, right? And they are being used by the NGOs, you know, able to take advantage of them, right? So you are like, you know, the first thing to do was to bring the community together. So you can see I believe in organizing people for their own solution. So that was the first thing, and to make everyone believe that they have something to do. So forget about writing proposal. I didn't know how to write proposal by then, right? But what we did was, let's clean Kibera. It was amazing. You come in, clean the street, we're like, yes, I've done something, you know, the power back to you. That was my agenda. Like, you have the power, right? You clean, there are being issue, women being abused, children. Let's talk about this. We are the solution. And honestly, when people start feeling that they are purposeful, that they are the change, it's amazing. Things can happen. So that was my first thing. Then from there, we built something. What was the big issue was gender inequality. You can remember Janet, the school for girls in Kibera, which is one of the best schools, right? We sat down and we all agree. But men, some of the tough men didn't agree with me. So it was a big fight. So how to, when you talk about if you educate a woman, educate entire community, doesn't work there. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. Yes, so what I did was simple. We're going to have a girls' school. We're going to have a healthcare center. We're going to have clean water and a library. What is the problem now? So that's how I captured them. So around the school, there are all these services that were provided to the entire community.
Water.
You got it. So now, if they saw the school, I'm restoring the healthcare.
Okay.
You got it?
This is why we say fixing. So today's topic is fixing inequality from the ground up. And what I'm taking from him is you start by organizing.
Yes.
Because that way you begin to get an understanding of the issues. You know, sometimes, and I'm sure Kennedy has seen this, people will come and tell you, this is what the problem you're going through is. So let me help you fix it.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen that
I've
a
seen
lot.
that
But
a
in
lot.
reverse, it's said let's sit down and talk about the pain points. And then, I like that. Then you come up, hopefully, with structures that address the core issues.
Yes. So that's what started.
This is about,
I like that.
It's about empowering and agency for the local community.
Yes.
But for very many years, Kennedy, there are very many NGOs, local, international, who would come in there and do projects in Kibera. So how different was this from
that
there?
was interesting.
And I always, you know what always comes to mind before we're going into a break? Always comes to mind is rural electrification. How many houses were connected? And they said, mi sikuwa nataka stima, nilikuwa nataka maji. And wanangoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. So he'll speak to that. That's good points. You know, people coming and saying, we know. And yes, the curiosity of then what were they doing? Or was it that the projects were being rejected because people say that's not our priority? But we'll come back and continue our conversation with Kennedy Odede, who's the founder and CEO of SHOFCO, talking about how to, I guess, fix. See, we say we're fixing one conversation at a time. Today it's understanding how to dismantle, perhaps, in many ways, inequality. We'll be back after this break to continue the conversation.
Yes.
Just before we come back to the conversation, and I hope we can try and look at a template of fixing inequality. Try and come up with one based on the conversation with Kennedy. The Kikombe says, I love this conversation. Please don't let Kennedy join politics. He's a fixer.
Don't let
him. Do not let him join politics. This is how to grow Kenya from Kibera to the world. Even a broken pot can grow seeds through the cracks. Wazi CEO. A lot of other people. We have Dorothy D. She says, transforming communities one village at a time. All right. Emmanuel Tempta anasema Tijano is glowing. I'm seeing my own things.
No, you're not.
You're always glowing, Tijano.
Thanks.
Emmanuel, you're not.
But yeah, thank you guys. Connect with Ocheche, how the Kikombe as well, and Hadrian Mutisia and Judy Chemu. Some of them are saying that's our CEO. Kenna is saying SHOFCO. So a lot of great feedback, and I think just trying to piece together how we address inequality. So you talked about organizing, then you talked about the various facilities. Okay, so then how did that continue to...
How was it different from...
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
the question
So
that
there's
Eric
something
had
else
asked.
that, and then an answerative question. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's a simple thing, if you really ask me. You know, I was just sitting there and watching what was going on here. And if they could have done only one thing, the parents, how do we move from here? But some people were deciding for them.
Yeah.
You see what happened? So I think that everyone knows what their challenge is going on through. You know, sit down with people, listen. It's about listening. What are the problems? Don't come with the solutions if you don't know. You don't know the root cause of the problems, right? So I think in anything you want to do in your life, or policies, government, company, is about understanding is through listening, and then from there together we come with the solution, right? I think we'll start from there. So now to your question. So fixing has to start from listening. You cannot come today with something from top to down. No, can't work. You don't understand the situation, right? You don't understand. I go to the hospital. I don't get the medicine.
Yeah.
So I have to sit down and understand why there's no medicine.
Yeah.
Give me the solutions, and then that's what I take up, right? So I always believe that listening and understanding is the most important thing in fixing anything. Yeah. So SHOFCO, kind of opposite of what we're talking about. Let's go back again quickly. So there's a young boy in Kibera with no money, no big name, nothing. Was just a street boy, Chokora, right? And kind of fighting against big organizations that come in the Kibera to solve the problems, which they don't know and understand. Then what happened? They are using us. We also using them. I won't lie to you. I also use them. Okay, as a kid there.
You took advantage.
You took advantage. Oh,
Letter.
Munataka choo? We want a toilet. Sure. As the day somebody came from abroad and made a toilet, which we didn't want it. And after that person leaving, one of the leaders took that toilet to be a house.
Wait.
You get it? You get it? So that up to now, that's still a house. It was so beautiful toilet. I'm like, the guy was like, good job. You use this,
He's gone home happy.
That you're
So happy with himself.
that he's
You
fixed
have done a good
something.
job, right?
But
Yes.
it's because he hadn't asked
Yeah.
what the priority
You got it.
is. Yeah.
And then again, when you are vulnerable and poor, one thing about poverty, I can remind you, is no choice.
Yeah.
Right? You, man, now, relative, you can say, I don't want that. I want coffee, I want tea. Man, in my life, I thank you. Whatever you give me.
What comes is what you
Yes,
take.
Take it.
So SHOFCO was to go against that, being like the solutions from us. And I kind of, we were crazy to be think about it. I was like, how comes, I won't say their names, these organizations come from the West to Kibera. Can we turn the table? Can we make something from Kibera slum to the West? a casualty of that. We have a program in New York, right? Office in New York, London, Germany. And I'm like, wow, we did it. Why? Because it is from the community. We are not waiting for donors to come, you know. So we are the one solving our own problems.
Right.
Then the rest of the thing, I believe that it will just come in. And if you're good in the game, man, the things just come. People want to work with you. You prove that you guys can do it with nothing.
And the community is behind everything.
It's behind
Yeah.
it.
You know, usually the questions that come whenever something starts from the community going outwards instead of the other way around, the people start saying, "Hey, Nia, Kennedy ndio ameanzisha. Anaita nini shining light for kumi. Hiyo pesa lakini si alipewa milioni 2. Tunaona tu chomoja.
Amekula 1.5.
Amekula 1.5. Those are the trust gap is so huge with Kenyans with Kenyans. You know, if it's a foreigner coming in, an NGO coming in, suddenly it's like, oh, okay, we trust you. But if it's Kennedy, maswali ni mengi.
But that's true. It's happening a lot of that. But the difference is that, you know, we are all psychology, right? So there's people seen SHOFCO when we had no shoes. SHOFCO, we have nothing. Mabati, right? We're living in a tiny house, an office. So for them to see how it's growing, I remember the first time there's a lady from the US who we hired, okay? And for the Kibera community, that was a big deal. Tumeandika wazungu kazi. You know?
Mkona pesa. Hey,
so there's also part of pride come with it. But at the same time, if your solutions are from the community, become different because they're the one deciding.
Right. So they know we asked for a community center, not for a gaming room or something of the sort. So when it comes up, there's no questions. It's this is what we wanted, this is what we got. I like that. And I love that everything you're doing is driven from the community's wants and needs. And we'll speak to, Jano, I know you see this a lot, where people prescribe, like you said, the medicine for you without knowing your ailment. And they're just like, shika dawa, shika cho. Maybe kwetu tuna flash, mbona wewe flash, shika. And then you're like, from running water would have been
ideal had you asked me. Yeah.
But have you seen, that's not my idea, but it's the community. Have you seen, if you come to Kibra now, there is, the water is aerial. Have you, do you guys go to the ground?
Water is aerial.
It's aerial, my friend. It's flying. You have to come. And that's from the community. We ask, how do you solve this problem? Like, why not? They're ahead.
So imagine on a zip line.
But you also have to go on the ground. But Janet always on the ground. I know about Janet. You too. It's been
But let me ask you then.
We're coming.
I'm just wondering, and this could be one of those, how does it persist? Okay, Kennedy stood in a gap. He saw a gap. He said, this is the solution because I come from here and understand it. Then you grew it as you do. I just wonder how it persists uncontrollably. Part of it could be, yes, we've talked about it's maintained, inequality is maintained, whether it's cartels. But is it that there's a lack of people in these communities who know what they need and then connecting them to the people who can then be able to resource it?
Right.
What is the bigger gap? Is it...
How many Kennedys are there?
How many Kennedys are there? Or what then is I guess fix is the word we use here. What you've done in Kibera is one thing and it's gone global. There's so many other places, whether it's Mukuru, whether it's, if we're talking about specifically informal settlements, then why aren't there similar solutions? Or you're like, I don't know if I can speak for them. I can speak for where I came from. But when you observe, what is the bigger gap? Is it that it's controlled and maintained that way, which you managed to break through? Or is there something deeper that keeps people in cycles of a situation that they'd be better off having access to?
Janet, I really love what you are doing in Korokocho. And let's be honest, you met many fixers. We have the fixers who are lacking opportunities. Truth be told, they have the answer, but no opportunity, right? So is how do we give them opportunity? How do we open the door for them, right? Somebody open the door for me, right? How many organizations are there that are struggling day and night to make it? You know? And yet, I'll give some example, and yet when there is some resources, people will call political youth goons to come to get all these things, right? Can you just think about, like, honestly, I have these things. Let me think of Nairobi. Who are the organizations that are working and making a difference in the community to be given the resources?
Right.
So we think about them. So I believe that we have the fixers. I love the word fix. Fixers are on the ground, but they lack the opportunities. So how do we kind of narrow that gap to connect it? That's almost my point. Yeah.
How do you identify those fixers? Because there are very many people who have ideas and things that they're doing in the community. And maybe somebody who would like just to see, okay, so how can I support this one to grow? How do you identify maybe the good ones from any other who could be there just for show?
Okay, so what we have done, for example, I've been pushing for, there's something called SHOFCO Urban Network, SUN. These are a network of community CBOs across who kind of trying to be like SHOFCO, right? So we are mentoring them. So I kind of find some funding. Those who are doing something amazing, they apply for something or through on a ground way and supporting them to see the change they can bring. And I've seen a lot of youth, women changing doing a lot of works in these communities. Yeah, so it's about finding these people and investing on them.
I want to ask the policy question.
Yeah.
Okay? Where it doesn't become that SHOFCO is supplementing government or even just doing the work that the government should be doing. How do you ensure that, all these community organizations are not basically substituting, not supplementing, substituting government?
Right.
So, so up if you want to enter shule, the community comes up and they do their own school. Here they need water, the community comes up and they find ways of actually getting water, reticulating water to the community or getting water centers. Wait,
sorry, before he answers, I just remembered the schools that are usually from the what's the name for those schools?
Yeah, let's just call them the informal school. They have a new name.
They have a new name. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Informal schools,
but informal schools stand in that gap in that way.
Yeah.
And then when, for example, there's money for school feeding programs, those are not government schools.
They're not.
So they get left out of mathematics like that. And I'm like, okay, that's what happens when CBOs and the community standing in for government in a place where they should be doing the work. But then now, suddenly, okay, we are feeding school children across Nairobi. Okay, but not the ones in informal schools. And I don't remember the name, but please speak.
So they have been coming together. I think we've been supporting them, the associations, and they are in touch with the parliament to make a policy on how they can be recognized. So that's something good.
That's for the schools specifically?
Yes, for the schools in the informal sector. So they also, because there's a need to be told. If you come to Kibra, for example, the government public schools cannot fit everyone. So there's a role here that is being played that are not being recognized. Yeah. On your case, I'll give you an example. In Homa Bay County, the youth were having issues, so we cannot build everything. So what we did with the county government is we were able to make a youth policy, right? And then we were able to invest on that, on what procurement, all those things, right? So we came with the youth themselves. We were able to support that, where the youth on the ground were giving their own views. And the policy was made that we now have that the county government of Homa Bay is using. And then we also brought in 47 counties, youth from 47 counties, to work on something that we're going to give to the president on the youth. So I think that's how you change policies. Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
From the bottom up. How did you get in touch with Homa Bay County? Who do you work with? Where do you start? Just using it as an example, trying to see thread how
How did you land there?
Just to be honest with you, so Governor Wanga she's really interesting, and she really reached out to me, okay, and tell me what she was working on and their idea, and I thought we good to partner with her. So we need leaders like that who are willing, right, on partnership to change. So that's something powerful.
Intentionality.
Yeah.
Something else, Danny, I don't know this story. So on policy. So we met, the first lady came to Kibera. That was the Margaret. And said the gender-based violence, GBV, and she was very impressed. And she was like, what can we do in the police level? Remember those days, there was one police officer on traffic area, if you remember, any woman been raped or abused, you have to be online and wait. And sometimes you have to put something inside. You know the story, right? And so that your case can go to court. Otherwise, one police. We told her that. And through SHOFCO, with Parliament and COBIA, it was changed. So right now, as you know, any medical person can write you a letter for that. So that's from the ground, because they listened to what was happening. And we're able to change that. Now the whole country is based on that.
Wow. So it's that combination of leading by example and then having these people recognize, because you started getting publicity and I think they're like, oh, we need to speak to him. But they have to be willing to. And I think that's the gap. it's not everyone who will do what the former First Lady did, what Honorable Gladys Wanga does.
Yeah.
Because then I think you're looking at a bit of a fix because it's government collaborating with.
Yes.
That's a gap.
Yeah. And it needs to be fixed.
Yes.
Because it should not be on, the sufficient philanthropy of a leader to do the job that they're supposed to do, right? And I'm wondering, from SHOFCO level, between SHOFCO, so SHOFCO is big enough to be, the one that can collate and help move. But maybe SHOFCO does not want to move into policy. SHOFCO still wants to do a community empowerment agency and running programs. Is there a need to see how to connect these ones with an intermediary organization, say Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and others, that then translates what is happening to the community into needs, into budget, into policy? Because there's some things, policy exists, just that the policy does not translate with what's happening on the ground. So they just need, awareness and budgetary allocation and proper lobbying, advocacy. Is there a need for an intermediary sort of line of groups of SHOFCOs?
That's good. So that's very important because policy, that's everything, right? Because I think you cannot do government's work, as you said, right? And if you go back to SHOFCO, you need a trust. So how do you get a trust? From the community. We had what's called free healthcare. We did that. People really fought for that. People in development. Kennedy, we're doing it for free, I'm like, free clean water. But what I was doing there is that if you've been forgotten by your government, nobody cares about you. You even don't know what is good. So after getting this thing, you're like, you know what? Can be bought by the government. Like, you meant it. Yeah. So right now, we are not really into the service delivery, just to let you know, but we are more into policy, engaging government stakeholders to work on issues. We worked also on the community health workers. The still they're getting now, the money they're getting, really SHOFCO was part of it from the grassroots level. So now we're using that power we have of the trust in the community to negotiate with the government on policies.
Okay.
So that's where we go now.
You're the gap.
You got it.
And kind of like a TOT is training of trainers so that other communities can, is there a TOT angle to what you do, the training of trainers? Yeah, I think I heard that that's something that you
do a lot on that.
Do a lot of that. Because that's how then you mainstream it across the board.
Yes.
Because you have the knowledge, the know-how, the information. So it's training others in different communities to know how to then implement it.
Okay. I quite like that. You said, yes, you cannot do the government's work. In the same spirit, the government also cannot do your work. When it comes to now building communities, and I don't mean SHOFCOs in this case, because that's standing in a gap already, but building communities that are resilient, cooperative, that can be able to, be self-sustaining. What are the ingredients for a community that works? And how do you foster that?
Well, a community that works. Wow, that's something else. So, So, I will still go back with the idea that community have to organize themselves. What is the role of the MCA? Are we together? Let's start. And sometimes we care so much about president or whatever, right?
Governor.
But, or governor.
And you forget
my friend,
the guy.
if you can just, your ward alone, do we have this road? Because let's start. Number one is that these MCAs are our MPs in a lower level.
Yes.
They go and sit down in the county assembly.
They do.
And they should talk about their wards, right? So if we are not organized on the ward level, we are doomed, right? So I think the best working community is that was in engaging these political leaders that are elected and answerable to them, not them answerable to the head of the political parties. No, people on the ground who elected you.
Yeah.
But they have to start engaging. So what SHOFCO Urban Network is doing is that they are now talking with these people. And again, before election, they are doing this called panel discussions, whereby if Janet is running and Latif is running, you are like, okay, put them to table together. Why? And they video you, okay? So when you win, we come back to you. Janet, you said this. Why not? Be accountable. So we need to do those kind of work in the community. Naona Latif anaangalia maneno. What do you think?
I am so bored. I'm like,
that's good. So again, you can't
This
escape
is
the
it.
fact that it's from there.
Yep.
I've been advocating for this.
That's true.
And saying, it can't happen. You don't expect Ruto to come and fix your sewage.
Thank
down
you.
there. I mean, it's your MCA they need to engage with. and I love it. Signing of social contracts is another thing.
Yes.
You know, let's all agree. These are my needs, and I like the Shikamaika who's coming next week on Wednesday. Today was a Nation video guy who says, we come up with a manifesto. We, the people, decide these are our needs. This is our manifesto. This is what we need to do to realize our manifesto. You come in, Atijanet, you want to be our MCA?
Yes.
So, yo, Meleta, this is what you need to use.
This is the job.
And then if you do that,
when you apply for a job, when I was applying for a job to work at NMG, I didn't come with my job description.
That's true.
They had a position. They had a JD for that position. I come in to fulfill that. Why don't we allow politicians to come with their own title and job description? And
that is an idea you can get behind.
Yes. That's going to be a great Ngumi ni mbwegze. Hata mimi, I feel like that.
And it's Friday.
It really is Friday. Kennedy, when you think of the future, in a world that's moving towards self-sustainability by choice or by, USAID wamesema tuko hapa, so mtajisort. What does that future look like? Sustainably, from what does government need to do from a policy perspective? What does the community need to do to get us to a place where we are self-sustainable? USAID wanaweza kuja waende, si tuko sawa. Kennedy anaweza kuja ende, si tuko sawa.
Wow. Yeah, it's like I'm now becoming the president, right? Dream one, right?
Yeah, dream.
Yeah, so I think as the Latif talk about it, where things work, where systems work, and the systems to work, we have to know the need of our people. And still, Kenya will not change until our citizens have changed.
He's always saying that.
Kenya will not change.
Yeah.
Right? Until we change, So sometimes I wonder, is it okay for us to go through a lot? We go to the wall and we push and we get pushed and then we rebuff. I don't know. Because until the moment Kenyans really see each other as one, there is no Kikuyu, there is no Luo, we are in this together, right? And then we know what we want, right? I talk about this community ward level. Like, if you guys know, there's no bridge there. There is no water in this area. This healthcare center is not working. Why not working? We can solve that in a lower level if we're going up, right? Yeah.
It starts with the citizens. Yeah, we're almost out of time. Tell us about this latest award, because it was in the papers. Kennedy Odede wins Mandela Award.
What?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
I know the NHLA is Tlantla. Yeah, it's like a Rintlantla.
Rolling Tlantla. I learned.
Where?
You low-key speak us and you didn't know.
I didn't know. I'm just like,
but why was it so important to you for doing that award?
So for me, growing up in Kibera, first of all, I was very angry. And I really believe in Marcus Garvey, right? Because change, you have to fight for change, right? But I was carrying a lot in me, right? And then getting to read about Madiba, as we call him, right? I was like, wow, look at this man. He really cared about change, right? So I loved him a lot. He really made me calm down, right? And that this man that really went through a lot, wise, and selfless. That doesn't have much up to now, although he's dead. There's no estates that Mandela owns. So for me to find out that people have been nominated and I'll be going to be given by the head of the UN at the same podium where the Mandela spoke. I was like, what is this? Right? I was really shocked and also humbled to remind me that it doesn't matter where the journey starts. You have to just keep on moving and doing what you believe in. Yes. Okay? And honestly, when I was starting SHOFCO, I realized that don't worry about awards. They are nonsense. The best award is when you touch someone's life and it's in their heart. That's what I believe. That woman, that child, they will be remembering you for that. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
That's a great reminder to go into the weekend with. Is that the accolades, even though they're great, that shouldn't be the why.
No.
Yeah.
The why is, am I impacting somebody?
Life.
And if I am, that's enough, even if it's 1 or 2 people.
Tasha.
Thousands in his case. But yeah, focus on that. So thank you so much, Kennedy, for coming and joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
Kennedy Odede is the founder, Shining Hope for Communities, SHOFCO. Fixers on YouTube, Okowengi. So when you get a chance to go to the NTV live feed, just look at the comments and the fixers.
Yes.
A lot of who know you or work with you or work for you, a lot of them have greeted you today. Coming up next, we also have another fixer. Mariam alluded to this. He started as a WhatsApp Nation video, and now he's going to be coming. His name is Frederick Beuchi, Epilepsy Awareness Ambassador Africa, shining light on epilepsy. That conversation is coming up next. It's 2 minutes to 9 a.m.